thing I tell people is like, when you really want these government contracts, when you really like, I want this, you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
Because like every day is $100,000 opportunities out there. You just need one to change your life.
I just won a contract for $12 million.
Congrats on that.
On Thursday, and we closed another contract this week as well, and we have to negotiate. But I think it's going to be somewhere in the 8 figures as well.
Would you think government contracts are something good? Would it change your life? How do you feel about government contracting?
For me personally, yeah, every time I try to do something other than government contracting, it just pulls me right back. I think it's the best thing. Every state, every city, every county all put out government contracts every single day. If you look at all the contracts that they put out every day, it's thousands, and one of those contracts could completely just take you from sleeping on the couch to living on the beach, riding in the yachts every day.
If right now, if you knew somebody who had the ambition to do it and pull their sleeves up and get in contract yourself, how long do you think it'll take them to gross $1 million?
Realistically.
Yeah. Start from finish, like
guaranteed. If you keep working at it every day, 5 days, I won't even say 7 days a week, but you might start to like it and be like, fuck it, I'm gonna do a 7. But if you do 5 days, 8-hour shifts of grinding, bro, you're gonna hit.
How about 100,000? How long do you think a person?
100,000, that gonna take long.
Yeah. How long you think a person get 100,000? Huh?
2-3 months max.
Max. Okay. Yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah. I would say 3 to 6 months. I say three to 6 months of somebody hustling.
It depends on how much work you put in. And how much, like, that's really the deciding factor. You can't just dibble
exactly. Everybody's not on there. I tell people, it's like, yo, if you take these little $1,000 a month contracts, right? First 3 months, use them as past performances. Then use that right there.
Triple up.
Yeah, triple up those $1,000 a month, small contracts, right? Yeah. And then you go ahead and go for the big boy contract in 6 months. Then you submit, you go win.
Yeah.
Cause you have that past performance that's working already, that's doing good. Then you go win, and then you just stacking up 2-3 million, just gone.
I just gotta say, Geoff, thank you so much for believing in me, pushing me, having faith, and paving the way, making the mistakes so I didn't have to. Staying a stand-up guy even when things were tough. I got so much respect for you. I just want to say thank you.
Yo, what up? I got the legendary Road Solutions, Frank. You know what I mean? Free throw Frank, now follow-up Frank. Blood cousin, you know what I mean? From rags to riches. We gonna go about that, you know what I mean? Talk to him real quick. Who you are, where you from?
Like Chef said, blood cousins. Chef, man, he taught me a lot. I own a company that focuses on providing services for the government. Right now, we do a few things. We provide food service for the homeless, as well as housing for battered women and the homeless. And I also own a construction company.
All right, cool. You know what I mean? We gonna start off and tell how we got into all that. It's kind of crazy how the world works. We were just talking about this earlier. It was like, can you teach that? Can you teach entrepreneur? Can you teach a person how to get up and hustle? There's so many people. I got family members and friends, and I've gave them the same sauce I gave Frank. They ain't do nothing with it. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's discouraging to even want to teach anybody anything when he's like, you give them the game, and it ain't working. So I'm gonna go from full throttle how this whole business worked and how we ended up here. I was in the Navy. He ended up joining the Navy. We ended up being stationed in San Diego together. I knew I was getting out of the Navy, and I was like, yo, I'm trying to do my food thing. I was in Italy for a while. Said, yo, get this culinary arts going. So I remember I wanted a restaurant. I didn't have enough money for it, so they said, yo, you should start doing pop-up restaurants. I started going to venues and asking them, can I use their spot as a pop-up, to try to get a fan base, to try to get investors, try to have my own restaurant. Everybody was saying no. So I did this thing where I was like, hey, I'm gonna do a secret location pop-up restaurant. Frank had a spot, his backyard patio where he was renting at the time. It was gorgeous, overseeing the canyon. It was just a real dope spot. I'm like, all right, cool. Let me rent some tables and chairs and do a 50-seater in the backyard. My first pop-up was in his backyard. Remember that? So I used your backyard for it. Yeah. It was dope.
Yeah, that was epic.
It was epic. And now fast forward when I'm doing more stuff, and I think one of my first contracts, I don't remember, like I needed a health permit. No, it wasn't. It was for the farmer's market. I remember I needed a health permit. Things were rough. You actually pay. It was $500 fee. You pay for the health permit for me. You know what I mean? So as a trying to figure out business owner out of the military, trying stuff out, he was still staying. Was like, yo, I'm gonna cover the cost, $500. Then we fast forward into in the real time. We going forward. He's out of the military, and then I'm done with school. Remember, he's like, yo, what was your take? Why you want to be done with college?
So I was going to school at the University of San Diego for engineering, and I was sitting in the class, and the focus of that class was to learn how to get a job, and it just did not resonate with me whatsoever.
Yeah.
And one day I was sitting in class, and the teacher was kind of giving me a hard time, and I just got up and never went back. And from that moment, I just dug deep and focused 100% of my energy on trying to get the business to grow. That was in October of 2019. And instead of me going to 5 classes, I started to meet with 5 mentors. I met with you, people at PTAC, people at SCORE, all these free resources where they have these amazing mentors that just help you get your business on track. All the free resources, I was just like every single day grinding, trying to figure out how to put it all together. And
yeah. So I remember when you were at that store, she was like, all right, cool. Well, I'm not going to school no more. I'm not getting a GI Bill, and you like crashed on my couch for a while too, right? So you're like, all right. So now, you back that phase, trying to find yourself. Like, man, I'm not going to college no more. I want this. And he's like, yo, teach me. I'm like, yeah, just go to P-Tech. I'm like, I'm thinking it's easy. Just go these guys, and they show you. Like, nah, nigga, let me just get that inside scoop. So I said, all right, cool. You know what? You want to do this? The best way I know how to do this if you used to work for me. I say, well, I think I was paying you $17 an hour.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, come work for my company as an admin person, learn the inside. You know what I mean? So he came on, working for about $17 an hour, and he's hustling. He's like, yo, I need it, man. I'm ready. I'm like, you sure, man? That's a lot to go into this. He said, man, look, man, don't look at me like I'm no like idiot, man. I can trust me. I'm like, all right. So I remember there was a contract came out, and years in the past, my team, we were fired from that contract. So a lot of just some management stuff that happened for the California firefighter. So I kind of knew the numbers, knew the insight, knew how it worked. I said, hey, man, you're not in the food service, but I got this contract. I guarantee you're going to win it. If you, bid it like this, here's the paperwork, copy, paste, submit these numbers, you're good. So, all right. He submitted it. He did it. He shot. I think but you even put an even lower number that I even told you to put as well. So he shot, and we won the contract, and we started the business. Your LLC, you started in October. I remember the video was October 10th. And January 10th, you won the contract for $590,000 for 12 months of work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Great feeling, huh?
It was crazy.
So,
I can't even imagine, because at that time when I was sleeping on your couch, I had no income. I had no money. And I was like that. It was that Monday where I was like, yo, this is really it. I'm down to my last, I don't know what I'm going to do on that Monday. And then that Friday, I won a contract for $500,000, and I got to figure out how to come up with $50,000 within a week to get the ball rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy how when you put your mind to something, you could do it, because we figured it out.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And besides that, I had to go roll the sleeves up, go to a whole different city, get a team together, you know what I mean? We get some bumps and rolls. It's like you turn the CEO overnight, because you didn't sub nothing out. You just, hey, we go hire everybody, put them in the house, and we go get it going. You know what I mean? So you have to learn how to be that leadership and learn how people depend on you overnight, right?
Yeah.
From like, hey man, I'm trying to, try to figure it out. But I think what I tell people is like, when you really want these government contracts, when you really like, I want this, you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
Because like every day is $100,000 opportunities out there. You just need one to change your life.
Absolutely.
Right? So
1,000%.
you got that contract, it put you in the game.
Yeah.
Then you start winning more after that, right?
Yep.
Right?
Yep. I think.
And where you at now on government contracting, and how much you think I think since you started from being on the couch to now, how much income you think you generated since that time?
Since I started, we're about $12 million in,
Mm-hmm.
and I just won a contract for $12 million.
Congrats on that.
On Thursday, and we closed another contract this week as well, and we have to negotiate. But I think it's going to be somewhere in the 8 figures as well.
Hell yeah.
So things are real different than how I was when I was sleeping on the couch.
And it's crazy for that first contract with no past performance at $500,000, but these other contracts you're able to get $12 million contract award at one time because of your past performances, right?
Because of my relationships, because of my consistency, because of my ability to build teams, and relentlessness. Because there was a lot of times that I wanted to quit, and even calling you and just hearing your inspirational words has been so pivotal to those in those moments when I know I just I can do this,
Yeah, it's I always say, man, the worst thing that happens is you gotta get a job. That's the worst. The worst you gotta do is, all right, I need a job. That's everybody's real life. So I mean, what do we have to lose?
Yeah, and like he said, my whole perspective on government contracting has changed so much in these last couple months, mainly just because I realized if you keep shooting, you're gonna hit. If you keep shooting and then you mix that with getting a debrief after you submit a contract to figure out what was the reason why you lost, it's only a matter of time if you stay consistent.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that for a fact.
And from when you first won your first contract for $500,000, how much money did it cost you to win that contract?
$0. $0. But like I said, imagine I started that contract with no money, no experience, no team, and just had to figure it out. I sold my jewelry. I cashed out my rewards points. I would have sold my blood if I had to make it, whatever it took. And just had a real good insight on the cash flow. And sometimes you need money, but you don't need it all at the same time. And if you could just move some things around, you could really make some great things work. So,
hell yeah. I mean, that's dope. That's inspiration. You gotta understand. Like I was telling man earlier, people you aren't born every day. You know what I mean? It's like I've given so many people the tools, and sometimes it's overwhelming, but sometimes they don't want to put the work in. Like I say, you get me this wrong. I say winning the contract is the easy part. Keep securing and executing the contract is the hardest part. Would you agree on that?
I would say it depends on what type of contract it is. If it's a service-based contract, absolutely. But there's so many contracts nowadays, right?
How do you feel about product contracts?
I feel like if you can build a relationship, then you can win in product contracts.
Well,
it's not something that you want to just shoot from the hip. You don't have any type of relationship and think you're going to win. You need background information. You need to understand the competitive landscape. What's really going on with this product? But there's certain situations where it's just as easy as picking up a phone because the manufacturer isn't in the game of handling small contracts. Right?
Yeah, that's true. You're not, and then it's like, then you just being a broker. I'm not with it because even you doing toilet paper or TVs, everybody's getting a rate, and then you put your money on top of the rate. You know what I mean? And it's like, and sometimes the actual company's actually been in the contract as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, do you really make good profits off of that? 2-3% probably.
Yeah, I mean that's not my business.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's not mine either.
I get it for somebody else, but I just love services. So for me,
I don't get it. It's like, and how do you feel about the middleman situation and brokering contracts out?
I know people who've made a lot of money doing products, so that's the reason why I say it may not work for me. But I know people who
they a lot of money go through their account, or were they able to?
Money goes through their account.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. How much money were they to keep after the money go to their account? You get a $10 million, $100 million, right? Out of $100 million, how much do you get to keep?
Couple percent of a point, but it matches the level of effort.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it all depends on what type of person you want to be, how much involvement you want. There is no right or wrong. Yeah. As long as you're living the life that you want to live, there is no perfect picture of how things go. If you could figure out a way to live your life that makes you happy, I say go ahead and do it.
Yeah, man. That's right. That's Whatever you're happy in life is your $100,000 person, $500,000 person. Like I tell people the contract game, man. Sometimes you just like be self-employed. Just get a contract and work it yourself.
Easy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you're guaranteed to win because
Yeah.
who can mess with your prices? You don't have to pay for workers' comp. You just like your competitive edge is unmatched, right? And also, if you're doing any contract, you want to find a role for yourself some way, somehow, so that you're not, especially when you're first starting. Even if you do, you want to be involved, right? Like you can't just sub it all out,
Well, I say brokers stay broke. Why I say that is like
that's fire. That's a bar.
Yeah. So the whole time you're worrying about brokering out a contract, and you might get it. You might squeeze in and get a contract. You can broker one out. That person you sell it to has their profit margin already attached to it, so they're winning. They're good regardless, and you get a piece of it, right? But then when it's time to get another contract, you got to try to figure out how to broker into something else again. You know what I mean?
Well, I would. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'd like to counter to that, right?
Yeah.
So, the unique thing about me is I'm in multiple spaces, right? I have a general contractor's license, general and electrical, as well as I do the food and I do the housing. So I get to see all type of people doing all type of things. Yeah. The broker model is the general contractor model. It's the same thing. They sub it, they sub everything out, and that's just the industry standard, so it works really well. Mm-hmm. A lot of the biggest contractors sub most of the things out, right? Yeah. There's certain contracts, base operations contracts, where the purpose is to sub things out.
Yeah.
So it's all about the situation, how big the pie is, and
that's true. How I see it is, right. If you're going to sub something out to me, I'm going to be the subcontractor, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to put my costs, my raw costs, and my profits padded in already.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, hey, it's going to cost me $1. You have to get your profits on top of my dollar already, so you can make some money. He said you just go to middleman it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm already good. I'm probably making more money than you're going to make as a middleman.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
How I see it is that person I was subcontracted with, okay, you're the owner of this company, a security guard company. I'm not going to sub it to you. I'm going to bring you as my general manager. We're going to pay the raw costs out, and you get a salary. I'm going to get that profit because I'm the owner. And then I'm getting another security guard contract, and you're going to GM that location as well. So I'm paying that same one price, the salary, to oversee both locations.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just how I see it.
Yeah. And like we said, like how we all started it, it's important to do what works for you.
Yeah.
What works for you is not going to work for
you. Yeah, exactly. Because some people don't have the patience or time or mental to manage all those people.
Exactly. So there's something to be said for subcontracting. I remember when we were doing the border patrol, I was able to, I subcontracted and I was able to do 5-6 contracts in different cities simultaneously. And if I had to do that myself, with being in business 2 years, there's no way that I would have had the mental capacity, the wherewithal to manage all of that in-house, and I was able to run up millions of dollars off of that. We grew from 300,000 to 2 million in 2 years. Mm-hmm. And that was through that subcontractor model. So it's all about what works for you.
Yeah, that's true. I just I've subcontracted in the past. I've had bad experiences, and I've had a subcontractor come try to be the prime in the contract. And one contract's from me that was a sub, did in Stockton. He was a sub, came in, bite me in the ass, fired subcontractors and sued me. Right.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
No, but I'm saying I've learned my share, and I'd rather not.
Yeah, you get burned. I just settled in a lawsuit with a subcontractor that.
And you ain't do nothing wrong.
I did nothing wrong.
But the wording you
almost
used,
$1 million.
Almost $1 million, right? You settled. You lost.
I got to pay that
because of you say. Explain to me because of your wording of partnership. Explain that.
So when I first started in the border patrol, I was hungry. I saw a great opportunity, and I was working with some other companies, and then I just got on Instagram, and I was just sending DMs to all the catering, meal prep, anybody related to food. Like, yo, I'm looking to partner with companies on government contracts, and because I use that word partner, there is so much involved in that word partner. So in their mind, even though we didn't have any contract that said we were a partnership, we didn't have a shared bank account. We didn't act as of a partner. They had their own businesses going on. I had my own business going on. I was winning other contracts. They took that, sued me, saying that we were partners, sued me for all the profits that I've made. Even up until today, I work with them. I started working with them in 2023.
Ooh.
Up until today, I had to produce all my financials up until today because of that one mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I had no clue. You know what I'm saying? I was in business for a year and a half before that happened.
Well, would you even know before you got into business to not do that?
I would have never knew.
Until you got into it. There's people in business right now probably for 20 years of business that doesn't know this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you don't learn how to change a flat tire till you get a car. That's what I was saying. You know what I mean? You in the mud. You start making money. You see these problems that come out. You know, like I got in trouble before one time. One of my employees in Atlanta, a female employee masturbated to give the guy a hand job. One of the people that was like a patient there, but I got in trouble for that.
Wow.
Right. Man. But it's like it's employment, learning people. So when money comes with problems,
what are you gonna do about that? Like, how could you have even fathomed that would have happened? Right.
Yeah.
Like,
then months later, one of my employees in Detroit take a leak on the side of the building, and the federal cops got them as federal building, take a leak on the side of the building, on the federal building, right?
Oh,
instead of going inside to use the bathroom. And guess what? When they got him and put him in handcuffs, he had marijuana on him.
Oh man, on the federal base.
But
man.
he has my shirt on.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
But you know, these are things when government, being a CEO, not even government CEO.
What about the fire, bro?
Oh man.
What about the fire? Because sometimes when I'm going through some things, and I'm like, yo, this is like the worst day. I think back to that story you told me, and I like that was wild.
I gotta post that up there, right? So I was in Stockton. A lot of weird stuff was going on. To this day, I still don't know. I had a contract up there. My subcontractor, who I rented the food trailer out from, he came back and wanted from me. So I went back, doubled down. 6 months later, I wanted back from him. Because they're doing 6 months at a time. So, okay. But everybody's giving me a hard time. They really want him back, right? Like I said, I don't know if it's racial. I don't know if it's sometimes, you know, you see a young, handsome black man and the contract's worth over $1 million, $2 million. And
for how long? How long a time? 6 months?
Yeah, six
for $1 million.
Yeah,
Dang,
you know,
that's crazy.
So they
how long
like,
you was in business at that time? Not even that long.
No, I was in business about five or 6 years. So, however, you know, I don't know, but however, things were happening, and they were sometimes they'll say hairs in the food, and be like, what? Everybody's bald. You got hair nuts. And then one time they came in and they showed me a toenail in the French fries. I'm like, you guys are sabotaging. They're sabotaging it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, these guys are sabotaging. One time, my employee found them taking a rotten apple out of the trash and taking a picture with it and saying, look what he got served. I'm like, what? And we caught them. They caught him taking the trash out, videoed them. And, you know, the guy person got in trouble. But like, it was so much sabotage that you're trying to do. And then one day my employees out there, you know, we got a food trailer, so at nighttime everything's unplugged, right?
Yeah.
So
you put a food trailer to make things more efficient.
Yeah, efficient.
And your competitor owned the food trailer.
The first one. I got another food trailer afterwards, but my competitor was the owner. He, you know what I mean? He learned out what I was doing, and he's like, you know, now he got me.
Let me take this, yeah.
So now, fast forward, I get a phone call 11 o'clock at night. Geoff, the trailer's on fire. I'm like, what? You're playing. It blew up in the flames. I'm gonna show you guys a picture that upload that right here. That it blew into flames, right? And I'm like, damn. So I'm like, how did that happen? It says electrical issue, they were saying, right? And then I'm like, something ain't right. Everything was turned off. Everything was unplugged. The trailer wasn't plugged in itself, right? And I believe that one of the drill sergeants that was there put it on fire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why is it 11 o'clock at night it's on fire when everybody's going there asleep?
Yeah.
It didn't catch on fire in the daytime when people were cooking.
Yeah.
It exploded. And then I got sued. I ended up selling out of court, paid the guy about 80. He was going for about 500,000. I paid him 80,000, you know what I mean? But it's like, damn. But however, this shit happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just like You know what I mean? Chin up, chest out, and keep going.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to say it's a racial thing or whatever the case is, but there is another level of difficulty when it comes to doing business from where we're from. I don't want to.
So
I
have you
don't
experienced? Have you felt that before? Like
Oh,
when you walked in,
Yeah.
you're the owner, and the employees of the government contract, they know the value of the contract, and they're like, he's getting that check.
Oh yeah. When I got my first contract, I was 27, and we worked for the California Fire Department. It's a very I'm trying to think of a politically correct way to say this, but a good old boys club,
Yeah.
right? And I'm young, black, and levels of success higher than these guys. And they would laugh, they would point, they would raise their eyebrows, and it was really an uphill battle to try to make a name for myself and just try to really stick through it. And it took a lot of grit, a lot of humility, a lot of just like biting my tongue, but we made it through it. But hats off to all the young minorities trying to do their thing in these good old boys club scenarios. I can tell you from experience.
It comes with it, and sometimes it can be class, not even racist. Like a person sees you got a contractor officer right there, and they see a contract's worth $12 million, and they're like, you're the owner. People gonna size you up.
Yeah.
If they know you're bringing that type of money, it's human nature. They're gonna size you up. You know what I mean? So, but that's what it is, man. But like, where you at right now? Your company, where you stand? Everything you got going on. Let's
Okay.
know.
Right now, I have a transitional home where I partner with nonprofits and provide housing for people struggling with homelessness and substance abuse. It's down in Chula Vista, and I also have one that is opening in Hillcrest, and I have a contract with the city of San Diego to also house battered women. I also have a general and electrical contracting business that is focused on on government work. So working with that, did some work previously with the VA and looking to get some jobs moving forward with that. And my main thing is providing food service for the homeless shelter downtown. So those are the three things that I got going on. I'm pretty much the CEO of each. My next steps is hiring a CEO for the construction company.
Yeah.
And I'm having a great time with the housing. It's something that really means a lot to my heart. So delegate and elevate so that I can focus on providing the best service for the most vulnerable in San Diego.
Why don't you thought about maybe hiring a VP? That could be something too.
Yeah.
Or a chief operation officer, COO.
Yeah, that's the next step.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, instead of being CEO, you give them CEO title. Sometimes they just overhead, but it's whatever. Yo, so would you think government contracts are something good? Would it change your life? How do you feel about government contracting?
For me personally, I every time I try to do something other than government contracting, it just pulls me right back. I think it's the best thing. I mean, every state, every city, every county, all put out government contracts every single day. If you look at all the contracts that they put out every day, it's thousands, and one of those contracts could completely just take you from sleeping on the couch to living on the beach, riding in the yachts every day, and if you could put that hard work in and consistency, like it's not like I watch game shows where they're talking about winning $1 million. Like you could go get a contract and it's not so crazy. Like you could really being a millionaire isn't that far off.
If you knew somebody who had the ambition to do it and pull their sleeves up and get in contract yourself, how long do you think it'll take them to gross $1 million? Somebody fresh with the gross. If somebody with the go-to, with the hustle like you have.
A year. Realistically.
Yeah. Start from finish, like
guaranteed. If you keep working at it every day, 5 days, I won't even say 7 days a week, but you might start to like it and be like, fuck it, I'm gonna do a 7. But if you do 5 days, 8-hour shifts of grinding, bro, you're gonna hit. You're gonna hit. You know.
Yeah, facts. How about 100,000? How long do you think a person?
100,000 not gonna take long.
Yeah, how long? How long you think a person
3
get
months
100,000?
max.
Huh?
2-3 months max.
Max.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I would say 3 to 6 months. I say three to 6 months of somebody hustling.
It depends on how much work you put in, and
Yeah.
how much. Like that's really the deciding factor. You can't just dibble
Exactly.
dabble
Everybody,
and think,
everybody's
like,
not on there. I tell people it's like, yo, if you take these little $1,000 a month contracts, right? First 3 months, use them as past performances. They use that
double
right
up,
there.
triple up.
Yeah, triple up those $1,000 a month small contracts, right?
Yeah.
And then you go ahead and go for the big boy contract in 6 months. Then you submit, you go win.
Yeah.
Cause you have that past performance that's working already, that's doing good. Then you go win, and then you just stacking up 2-3 million, just gone.
And then you can even lean on the experience of of the people you intend to hire.
Yeah.
Right. That's a big part of it as well. So, it's I like to think of entrepreneurship like being a DJ, right? You don't gotta be a good artist to be a DJ, but the DJs be having the club. They run the vibe, right? With entrepreneurship, you don't gotta know how to do everything. You just gotta know how to put the team together. You gotta know how to put the mix together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right timing, at the right amount, at the right. You know what I'm saying? If you can learn how to run a play, you can do it.
It's a fact. If somebody want to get a government contracting, they could do it themselves or learn step by step with somebody. What route you think they should take?
100%. You want to go with learning from someone who has experience. There's no book, there's no podcast, there's no nothing that is gonna replace that experience. That where you can ask questions in real time, where you can feedback, and who can help you get through the emotional and mental struggles. Because the biggest part of entrepreneurship is really just it's a journey of learning who you are. Someone who can guide you in all those angles is important.
Yeah, it's a fact. But yo, man, appreciate you, man. We on this yacht, we on this boat. You know what I mean? We out here in San Diego, where everything started. You know what I mean? This is where everything started right here, man. It all ends. It's good catching up. You know what I mean? We got the story for the timeline from the start. You know what I mean? Rags to very riches, man. It's like you put the work in. These government contracts, being the CEOs like college, man, it's not overnight. You put the work in. It's not no fast money, but it's changed your life. All right?
Yeah, and before we get off, I just got to say, Geoff, thank you so much for, one, believing in me, pushing me, having faith, and paving the way, making the mistakes so I didn't have to, staying a stand-up guy even when things were tough. I got so much respect for you. I just want to say thank you.
Appreciate you. Love you, cousin.
Love you too, man.
All right.